Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be a movie review for Grown Ups 2. I know a lot of you are thinking, why didn't you see Pacific Rim? Why didn't you see Pacific Rim? Why didn't you see Pacific Rim? I'm going to see Pacific Rim. The reason I didn't see it is because I knew it would be packed. And when I got out of the movie theater for this movie, literally like a few minutes later, there was this huge line people waiting for Pacific Rim to start. So that is why I did not see Pacific Rim, because I knew it would be packed, and it was. So I made a good decision, and I went to see this movie. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, why'd you see it? Because I thought it looked kind of funny. It definitely just looked like a fun sequel, and it definitely didn't look like anything that big or anything. The first Grown Ups, I had a good time with this movie. It definitely wasn't laugh out loud funny. Well, some of the scenes were, but it definitely was not one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. It was really funny though, and I really did enjoy it. So I was, I was kind of hopeful of a sequel, but I wasn't like begging for a sequel. Kind of like Despicable Me. It just came out. I wasn't begging for a sequel, but I wanted it. But I mean, I'd be fine if there was a sequel. And this one, I was happy that there was a sequel. And the first one, as I said, wasn't laugh out loud funny. This one, though, it was pretty funny. I think I laughed at this one, I think, more than I did the first one. And I think I had a better time with this one than I did. It does have a few problems. Don't think of this review being, oh, he's terrible. Let's just beat him at the stake, bash him, do whatever you can. No, don't do that, because it does have a few setbacks, but overall, it is a pretty funny movie. It definitely, though, is not the funniest movie. I mean, it's not as funny as This Is the End, obviously. But it is pretty funny. The only thing I think that's going to come into competition with This Is the End is The World's End with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, or Anchorman 2. We'll have to see. But this movie, basically, the first one was kind of them, all about them, going to their old house and basically deciding to stay there. Well, this one is about them getting all their kids ready for the last day of school. And I really liked how this one, you had a lot more subplots in this one. Like, literally everybody gets a plot in this one. Not that they didn't in the first one, but this one, there's a lot more of that. And I really liked that there was more of a story to this one than there was to the first one. The first one was kind of just them goofing off and, just having a good time. And this one, it's like that too, but there's a lot more story to this one, I think. Especially in Adam Sandler's part of the family, there's a lot more story to their characters. So let's just get to it. They're getting their kids ready for the last day of school, and with Adam Sandler's family, Selma Hayek's character, I don't know all the names, but she basically wants to have another kid. She wants to have another kid with him, and, he really isn't ready for another kid, and there's a big shocker at the end. I was kind of expecting it. It was a shocker. It would be a shocker to anyone who didn't know about it, and I will get to it, but basically, that was pretty good. And you have this other plot with his oldest, basically, his oldest is in high school, and he is, his other boy that's going in high school, who's a freshman, is being picked on by this bully, and his oldest is basically has a crush on this frat girl who's in college. So that's basically what's going on with them. Also, his youngest, the little girl, who's not so little anymore, she still is little, but she's, I think, in elementary school now. She basically has this monkey that she's attached to. Not really a lot going on with her, but she basically can't sleep without this monkey because there's a deer scene, the deer ends up destroying the monkey, and so in some of the movie it's him trying to fix the monkey, and yeah, so that's basically what happened with this. Yeah, that's basically what happened. Then now let's go to Kevin James. There's a lot going on with Kevin James' family. I actually thought that his plot was probably one of the funniest, especially with the little boy. Oh my god, the little boy was so funny in this movie. Boyd was hilarious this one. He was funny in the first one, but, he's older now, so they can give him more stuff to do. He basically is going through a stage where a lot of kids go through, where he basically is doing math problems and he's getting everything wrong, basically. But there actually was a pretty good twist with him. We find out that he's a really good pianist, which I really liked. That was cool to see. And then his oldest is basically, you know, the oldest daughter, is wearing these weird boots to school, and she has a little bit of a crush on Adam Sandler's youngest son. You know, the guy who plays who's on Jessie. I don't really watch that show a lot, but I know he's from Jessie because I've seen that show before. By the way, yes, I changed my case because the other one was teared, so I just went back to the white case. So if you guys are like, why do you have that case is like toast? So I'm using the white case again. But basically, that's what's going on with Kevin James's family. And then you have Chris Rock, who, the biggest thing with him is that his wife, he remembers his wife's anniversary, but his wife does not remember his anniversary. And that's kind of funny. I mean, definitely that's very funny. It's kind of like the reverse thing, except this time he is going to he works at a cable company now. So, yeah, that's a little bit different. And, so yeah, that's basically what's going on with, Chris Rock now. And, what else was I going to say about Chris Rock? Oh, yeah, his daughter is basically is asked out, or is going to be asked out by this boy. And I will get to that family in a second because they were really annoying. And, then you have David Spade, who is who had a very interesting plot. He finds out he had a son he never had, and that was okay. There really wasn't a lot with that. One thing that I would say is that with these plots, I would have wanted to see a little bit more. I know Adam Sandler is the main one here. I would have wanted to see a scene with his son and the girl that likes him. I think that would have been a cute scene, and I much rather would have seen that than the scene we got with a date, and I will get to that. But the other thing that's going on is that Adam Sandler, there's this girl who remembers Adam Sandler's character, Lenny, and she's just crazy. And she was just, But I will say, the one thing that I did like was that I think this group actually worked a lot better than the group in Grown Up. I think that's why Rob Schneider left. There was just something that he was missing in there. He wasn't as funny as everybody else, and I can see why they got rid of him, because he definitely was not as funny as everybody else in the group, and they were fun, and the rest of them were all a lot funnier, so I could see why they did it, and I'm really, I'm really happy that the group did work better as a whole. And then you had there were a couple of problems I'll have, and now I'll get to the problems that I have with the movie, but yeah, that's basically the cast. Now, some of the characters I did have problems with. Especially. Most of the new characters I know why they had to be in here, but they're most of the reason why the movie. First of all, let's get to the group of frat boys. They weren't, and there's nothing I can really say about, because that's how frat boys act. I know for a fact that I'm never going to do that. If I go to college, I will not join a frat house, because that was just crazy what they're doing. I mean, Taylor Lautner, he did a really good job as being like a douchebag in this movie. His character was kind of funny, and I like funny. And I like that in the end they're basically scared of all of them, but they were just kind of annoying, and I didn't love that. I didn't really love that part. But the other part that I didn't like was, especially, this really annoyed me. First of all, Adam Sandler, the girl who likes Adam Sandler, she was annoying. Anytime she was on screen, she was really annoying, because, he's over you. Can you tell he's over you? He's over you. Just, ugh. And, then there's Rick Schwartzman's character. I will admit, the first hour, he is hilarious. He's very, very funny in the beginning when you first see him as the bus driver. He's basically the bus driver to everybody, but he ends up falling asleep, and Adam Sandler takes over as a bus driver, and all this crazy stuff is going on with his character. But he was really funny. As the movie progressed, though, he was not as funny. He definitely was a lot more funnier. Once we found out he was gay and everything, it definitely was not as funny. The worst part of the movie that really, really made me just, was that family. Oh my god, that family. They were so annoying. With that family where basically I have this running joke. And I can see why they did, because it was kind of funny. It really was kind of funny, and I did enjoy some of it. It's just that they kept doing it, and I can see why they kept doing it. It's supposed to be annoying. Why the hell did you show it if it's so annoying? Basically, there's this family there, and the family basically is just there, and anytime someone insults them, they all go, what? 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 It's so annoying. And it was funny the first few times, but then after that, it just got annoying and annoying and annoying. I'm like, this joke is not funny anymore. And even people in the theater, they just stopped laughing at those jokes because they were not funny. And especially the guy who wants to date China Anne McClain, you know, Chris Rock's daughter. I liked how Chris Rock was being a protective father, you know that, I like that. But the son was so freaking annoying. He was so annoying. And he was the worst part of the movie. The guy who played, he was a good actor. I mean, he was a very good actor, so I'm sure he's nothing like that in real life. But it was so annoying. I mean, why did you have to have a scene with the two of them? Yes, I understand why you had to do it, but you could have also included a scene with Kevin James' daughter and Adam Sandler's son, because they, you know, Kevin James' daughter has a crush on him. So why couldn't you have included a scene like that? They kind of did, but then they kind of didn't. So that was the only other problem I had with the movie. Other than that, though, I didn't have many other problems with the movie. Yeah. So that's basically what I thought of the movie. Now I'm going to get into some spoilers. So if you haven't seen Grown Ups 2, most of you probably don't care. There actually is a lot more story to this, as I said. So if you haven't seen Grown Ups 2, I'm just going to tell you guys, don't watch the rest of this review. So, the biggest part of the movie, which I kind of predicted this, I really thought this was going to happen when I had this feeling. I knew that she was pregnant, and hopefully this does not mean Grown Ups 3, because this one was funny. Don't get me wrong, it was funny. Oh, the one scene, though, that was really disgusting was that car wash scene. Just, oh my god. Oh my god. I'm never going to be able to unsee that. That is definitely a scene where, if you don't want to see something disgusting, just close your eyes at that scene. It's really disgusting. And it's not so disgusting until Andy Samberg and all the people start coming up. I mean, girls will like it, but boys will just, oh my god. That scene was disgusting. But basically, I knew that was going to happen, and I also thought the other thing that I have to say is, I really like the scene where basically, they stood up to the frat boys. I enjoyed that scene. I thought that was a really good scene. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, I love the whole ballet teacher. That was funny. So yeah, mainly a lot of the stuff was funnier in this. It definitely had more of a recurring storyline, and I really did enjoy that, because this one, yeah, it had some recurring storylines, but most of them were just set for gags. This one, though, actually had a really good recurring storyline. A lot of stuff happens. Adam Sandler realizes that he's not the best father in this one. I thought this was a good ending. If they want to end the movie here, end it here, because this was a good ending. The movie ends. It just ends well, okay? That's the ending for the movie. Do not make a Grown Ups 3. I don't know what else they could do. I don't really want a Grown Ups 3. But that's it for my review of Grown Ups 2. As I said, it was still funny. It definitely was a little bit funnier than the first. There was some stuff in there that I did have problems with, just like the first time. I did have problems with the first one. But I enjoyed this one a little bit more. So let me know what you guys thought of Grown Ups 2. Do you guys even care? I'm sure not a lot of people are going to watch this review. But I do recommend you guys see this movie. It actually does have some good recurring storylines. Were you guys surprised about that? Did you like the little, how it had more, did you feel it had more of a recurring storyline? I really did. Did you like the new characters? I thought some of the new characters worked, some of them didn't. The one character who I did really like was Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal was hilarious in this movie. One of the best parts of the review. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next video. Okay, bye!